Headlines is brought to you by the generous support of our viewers and the following community partners. Best Cord Cutting TV, Before It's Tax Preparation, Bravo's Restaurant Bar, Casa Antonieta Ingielapa, El Rey Lounge de Versalles, John Boutique Hotel and Co-work, Monzon Brewing Company, Puerto Vallarta Neurofeedback, Owners Reps Puerto Vallarta, and Siam Cocina Thai. Thank you for your support, and thank you for supporting our community partners.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get-together live here on Facebook and live on YouTube, but not today. Today, we're not live. Today, we are pre-recorded. It is Friday, September 19th. Cue the Friday music.
Thank God.
Yes, and it's very early in the morning. In a few minutes, I'll be on my way to Guadalajara, coming back on Sunday. So, a little bit of housekeeping. Today's broadcast is pre-recorded. We will not have a broadcast tomorrow's Saturday, but I will be bringing you updates on all kinds of things on Monday morning. I hope you have a great weekend. What do we have prepared for today? Well, today we are going to enjoy a spotlight interview with Commander Rey. And Commander Rey is in charge of the American Legion Post 12 here in Banderas Bay. He's also the husband of Empress, a local entertainer and event organizer. And we had a great conversation. He opened my eyes to all kinds of things that I was not aware of as they relate to service veterans from the United States and service veterans from elsewhere in the world. So I hope you will enjoy this interview, and I hope you will learn something new with it, as I did. Before we get into the interview, let us take a quick look at what we can expect for weather today. We do have a chance to do this before we leave. Snarky Weather says, something's wrong because I never said you could have such nice weather. Well, maybe it's because we're going to Guadalajara. We're getting nice weather. It's 26 degrees right now. Humidity is at 91%. That's what Snarky Weather says. 91% humidity at 7:30 in the morning. Can you believe that? So it may be a humid day, but according to Snarky Weather, we're going to have rain in the morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon. A chance of rain of 70%, a high of 32, and a low of 24. Tomorrow, Saturday, partly cloudy skies in the morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 77%, a high of 33, and a low of 24. Then, on Sunday, we can expect overcast skies in the morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 86%, a high of 33, and a low of 25. And that is the weather forecast for today, Friday. I hope you have an amazing weekend. Please don't expect show notes on Facebook or on the website, but here's something to think about that I never thought about before. The other day, somebody on YouTube asked me, so can you show me a link to something or other? And here's something that I never explicitly explained. The show notes are always in the YouTube description. So here's an advantage to watching videos on YouTube. Anyhow, here is the interview with Commander Rey.
I am sitting here with Commander Rey. Commander Rey, how are you doing today?
I am as happy as a cartoon cat.
Okay. I have to ask why. When you say you're as happy as a cartoon cat, is there something specific that makes you happy today, or you're just super happy?
Happiness is a choice. My perspective in life allows me to be happy all the time.
I love it.
I choose to be happy.
What brings you to the spotlight today?
Actually, I am the new, as of June 1st, commander of Post 12 of the American Legion.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And I am looking forward to bringing new life to the organization. The, you know, veterans are about 1% of the population, but we're the ones that do the heavy lifting. You know, we're the ones that provide freedom. We're the ones that provide the opportunity. We're the ones that put our life on the line. And unfortunately, after we have served, we are often discarded. Veterans find themselves being taken for granted, being taken advantage of, even on active duty. There's a multitude of paperwork in trying to get your benefits. It's confusions. There's yesterday, 22 veterans committed suicide. And today, 22 veterans committed suicide.
Before we dive too deep into this very important fact, let us rewind the tape a little bit for the sake of viewers who are not from the United States, that may not be entirely certain that they understand American Legion or veterans as basic concepts.
Okay. Every nation has servicemen.
Yes.
The American Legion is an organization that was funded by Congress. It is an international organization for the benefit of veterans. Veterans from around the world are Legion members.
And they're legions or branches.
Posts, yes.
Posts.
They're
Okay,
posts.
that's the proper term.
So this is Post 12.
Okay,
Puerto
gotcha.
Vallarta is Post 12. There are posts all over the world. You don't have to live in an area to be a member of that post. So veterans coming through Puerto Vallarta can join our post and become posts of Post 12, or members of Post 12 of the American Legion.
Can veterans be members of different simultaneous posts?
No, you have to.
You choose your post.
Yeah, you can transfer, but you are a member of one post.
I want to go back to the facts you were sharing earlier, but let's keep it basic for the time being, because I will confess I'm completely ignorant about these things. So if I am a veteran, what would make me choose one post over another if I can join any post regardless of the city?
Normally, a veteran is going to pick a city.
Santa Fe.
Okay. So a veteran would probably join a local post. The main reason being to get the benefits of what's called a VSO, a Veteran Service Officer. The Veteran Service Officer helps them walk through the bureaucracy of getting their benefits. Say a veteran has a disability, there's a certain amount of money that the government is going to pay for, they're going to give them a rating of a percentage of disability, and they're going to get a certain amount of money as a stipend every month. To give an example, tinnitus, which is ringing in your ears, that would get you a 10% disability pretty easily. The 100% disability is about $4,000 a year. So that tinnitus, that would get you about $400 a year. That would help most people.
Of course.
You know.
So if I am one of those people, is part of your job as the president of this post,
Commander of the post.
commander of the post, to disseminate those payments or?
No, my job and what I'm doing now is I've created a virtual service officer
Okay.
to help with a veteran's claim.
Got it.
So as the commander of the post, my job would be, for example, if you showed up in Puerto Vallarta and you had a medical issue.
Got it.
My job would be to try to connect you with someone local facilities, Red Cross or something here, help you if the embassy could help you, to direct you so that you can get help, to direct you to some type of assistance. We had a veteran who was homeless, so he had been robbed, he was homeless. So that would be something that I was contacted, we would address, we would try to find him housing, we would put him in touch with the embassy, we would see if we can maybe get him a ticket back home, get him a replacement for his passport, that type of thing. So it is 100% a service organization.
This is a lot of service you provide.
Yeah.
How did you Or what made you choose the post? Unless it's not, is it a post? Is it an election, or do you
Right.
volunteer?
Well, to be an executive officer, you're elected. So I was elected to be the commander. Before commander, I was historian for Post 12. When the commander at the time, Jesse Rivera, Jesse stepped down, and he nominated me with his blessing, and the executive board members supported it, and voila, I am the commander.
And here we are. Here we are. Okay, I am so glad we got this out of the way, because it gives me so much more knowledge and appreciation of what it's like to be in your shoes, without even getting into the whole business of having served and whatnot, and the consequences of being in service, which you were referring to earlier. It does not take a college degree to see how the effects of service of any kind are real. What is the organization's or the post's biggest challenge here in Puerto Vallarta?
Well, serving veterans there are three things that are three big challenges for veterans being reintegrated into society. And this is an ancient concept back in the days when, in the Roman times and before that, when guys would spend, years hacking each other with swords. There was a process of integration, of helping you to go from being a warrior back to being a peaceful person. The big three problems that veterans face now is, first of all, the suicide. And the suicide comes, the high rate of suicide, which is about 22 a day, comes from frustration. That frustration comes from the mountain of paperwork and bureaucracy and apathy to these veterans. You've served, you've been traumatized, you've been injured, and you come back to a bureaucracy where you've got a clerk who's reading files and checking boxes to see if you're going to get your benefits. And you have to go through that, and there's no one there to help you with that. That's what the VSO, that's what a veteran service officer does. So as a post, we have veteran service officers, and that's what they do. The other problem is reintegration in the form of trying to translate your service into something that you can put on a resume for an employer. So say, for example, you were a combat Marine. Mm-hmm. And I mean, how do you put combat Marine on your resume? But as a combat Marine, you had discipline, you had order. There were people under you. You had to organize, you had to lead, you had to take care of things like supplies and munitions and that type of thing. So you're actually groomed for management. You're ready to be managed.
Of course.
And the military, the first thing the military does in basic training is to strip you of your personality and reinvent you as military, be a soldier, airman. I was Air Force, so we were airmen. They rebuild you in their image and make you all work together. DEI, which is diversity, equality, and inclusion, was not something that the military intended to be a leader in. It was practical. They realized that cohesion increased lethality. It makes your military more effective in making your enemy die for their country instead of vice versa. So those skills, punctuality, responsibility, the U.S. military is held in high esteem around the world because where a lot of militaries, if the lieutenant or the captain or the major, whatever that's above you, if he's lost in battle, a lot of militaries are completely scattered. They don't know what to do. Our military is taught to improvise, all the way down to a basic sergeant or a basic private with no rank. We're taught to get the job done. Veterans are taught, especially in the Air Force, which is why that can help with the frustration of coming back to civilian life, where people have a tendency to want to micromanage. Veterans are taught, you're at point A, get to point B, I don't care how you do it. So we're accustomed to give me the objective and just let me do my thing. You don't need to watch over me, you don't need to help me, guide me. Just give me the tools, tell me what to do, and I'll get back to you when it's done. And these are skills that any employer would want, but they have to be translated into terms that an employer can recognize and value. And when that doesn't happen, when you've gone through combat and you've done these things, and just because you're a youngster, you're minimized, that causes despair, and one thing leads to another. When I went into the service, I volunteered for Vietnam. I was 17 and a half. So there's the thing called delayed enlistment, where you're in high school, and as soon as you graduate high school, you go right in the military. The problem with that is I'm 18, 19 years old. I've had the job of an adult man. I come home, the guys I went to high school with are still living with their mom. So now there's this isolation. There's nothing I can talk to you about.
Of course.
And I'm not really into what the older guys are into. Or if I get into that can get you into trouble. So these are the things that cause veterans to harm themselves. You've got a disability. They tell you to man up. So you might not have complained in the service about your back or your arm or your shoulder, because it would look like you're slacking. It would look like you're trying to just get off of work. So, excuse me, turn that off. So now you don't have good records of a medical condition to get your benefits. So it's a catch-22 situation.
How are these challenges exacerbated, if they are, being in charge of a post that is in a country where English is not the primary language?
Actually, it's not an issue, because you're still dealing with the U.S. government. You'd still be dealing with people who speak English. You're still dealing with someone back in the States doing your paperwork. Of course, there's the issue of trying to get documents back and forth, but now everything's electronic, so that's a lot easier. And you get to live someplace with people who are much more amiable. You're in less stress, better food, better air, better living environment. So for veterans to come somewhere like Puerto Vallarta is actually a benefit, psychologically, sociologically, which is great. So the veterans can come and they can join our post. They can come down, and we have there are various vendors that will offer benefits. Because a lot of these veterans, they're good clients. They have money. They've got their disability coming in, and some of them have gotten out of the military, gone into the civilian life, did 20 years. So you got guys that are 50 or 60 years old, have 2 retirements coming in, and people want that business, and we help facilitate that as well.
I have another ignorant question.
No such thing.
Thank you. Would a veteran be, let's say I'm a veteran and I am choosing where I'm going to live. Will I be looking at the activities of different posts to get a sense as to what city will provide me with more support, or does it not work that way?
I don't think a veteran would look. I think that the biggest post of 7,000 members or so is in Cincinnati.
Uh-huh.
With all due respect, who wants to live in Cincinnati?
Well, wait a second. Forget about that for a second. And maybe this is a bigger question for another interview, but if you're telling me that the biggest post serves 7,000 in Cincinnati, there have to be thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of U.S. veterans.
There's probably 70,000 veterans in Cincinnati.
Who's taking care of the needs of all these veterans? And of course, this is a big, big question that goes beyond the scope of our spotlight here in Puerto Vallarta.
No one. And I have taken upon myself to address that. I am professionally, I'm what's called an AI strategist.
Okay.
So I use synthetic intelligence to solve problems, business problems, life problems, whatever. And I have created an application that helps veterans get through the morass of bureaucracy that's holding them back. So for example, as a veteran, as a member of my post, you can give me, or I'm not give me, you would give the AI that we call Astrid, you would upload your, as a member of the post, you upload your documents to Astrid. She would do an analysis and tell you the percentage of that you're probably good to get as far as disability and how to improve that if possible. Astrid would analyze your case. She would find the proper professionals that you need to go to get testing. She'll make appointments for you. She'll remind you of your appointments. She'll follow up, keep track of what happened, do the whole thing for you. And you talk to her. You can actually consult with her. She's trained so that if a veteran calls and she's looking for triggers. So say a veteran calls and he's like, man, I'm just like, it's driving me crazy. I just can't get, they keep denying my claim or denying my claim. And she can sense distress in his voice. That will do two things. First of all, she will ask, do you need to talk to somebody? She will give him a list, a number of someone he can call to get help. And then she'll send me a message in case she thinks that I should call him personally and talk to him. She'll send me a text that's an assessment of, this is what happened, a transcript of the conversation. This is what happened. His name's blah, blah, blah. Here's his number. And the number will be right there. I just push send and I call. I say, hey man, just like, it's Commander Rey, just touching base with you. I see you're having some issues and, is anything, want to let you know that we're here for you and is there anything we can do? And, and don't, they're always going to deny your first claim. Don't worry about it. That's just the system and that type of thing. A lot of times that's all it takes is to know that there's somebody you can talk to, somebody who understands because they've been in your position. There's a big transition now with veterans. All the old timers are pretty much dying. You don't see veterans, Vietnam vets anymore. Now you're seeing Afghanistan vets, Iraqi vets. You're seeing vets in the new wars. They're younger, better educated, more brown, more female. And there's a little bit of a tension, like in Cincinnati. There's like a bunch of old guys who are using, in my estimation, the Legion kind of like as a drinking club. They play golf and hang out together and sit in the club and drink beer, as opposed to, there's guys that really need to get help. I mean, everybody laments about 22 veterans a day committing suicide, but I don't see anybody doing anything about it. And really, the first thing is to let people know they're not by themselves and to give someone they can call and someone they can talk to who's gonna listen. Just listen. Just listening is so important. So that's what we're addressing. And we're having a membership drive the 24th of September.
Okay.
We're gonna have an open membership so that not only veterans, but veterans' friends, veterans' families, I want them to know what we're doing so we can get referrals. I mean, you might not be a vet, but everybody knows a vet. And to let people know that these services are available because this is all brand new. And AI is just, people don't realize, Paco, AI for the public, it's only 100 days old. Mm-hmm. For the military, we've been using AI for decades.
Wow.
I got out of the Air Force in 1978. The aircraft, the F-15s, F-16s, A-10s they're using now, I helped develop that stuff that long ago. So that's how far the government and the military is in using these technologies. And now they're available to us, so we're putting them to use.
Tell me about this membership drive. Is it going to happen at a physical place or how is it going to manifest itself?
It's going to happen right here. It's going to happen at the Joint.
Oh, wow.
And we're going to have it online. You'll be able to zoom in and get information. So we're going to try to make it as accessible to everyone as, so hopefully we can get the word out through venues like yours to let people know that we're going to open our doors. We want people to look at Astrid and Ember, call her, talk to her. I brought, she's here in my stuff so you can see what we've got. And it's really extensive.
So we know what it is. We know what the mission is. We know how to get in touch. What else are we missing here, Commander Rey?
Well, there's a number. People can call her. The number is 810 all vets, and if you can contact me, Commander Rey .post12@gmail.com, or call me. I'll give you my number. It's +1 702 334 5228. Give me a call if you have questions. I'll be glad to answer any questions anyone has. There's a lot to cover. So, and this is, I think, just kind of like opening the can of worms. There's a lot we have to offer. There's a lot that needs to be done.
Well, for me, it's a pleasure to be a conduit for this information and to amplify it in whatever way I can. I have one final question, if I may. If you, as a veteran, are here to look after all these other veterans, who's looking after you?
Empress.
Empress. That's a great answer. Commander Rey, what a pleasure to meet you.
The pleasure's mine.
Forgive my ignorance about the United States Armed Services, but I am so happy to know that the work that the armed forces have done is well supported here. Anytime you have anything new or interesting or important to share, please know that you're always welcome to return.
Thank you very much. And anytime you want to see Astrid or speak to her, I'll be glad to let her speak to her. So it's like I say, it's designed. This is actually a tablet and a phone is what we call a field kit. And the other thing that we're doing is providing income for veterans. So this is something that they can do and actually earn money, be trained as a VSO, and you can earn money as a VSO. You can earn money to help people. With Astrid, you can do that as well. So we're really trying to cover all the bases. The people who serve are so often taken for granted. I don't know if you remember in May, there was an accident with the Mexican Navy. So we deal with when the Mexican Navy comes here, the U.S. Coast Guard comes here, we usually go to the Mexican Marine base and have a volleyball game. So we deal with the Canadian military, all the military comes down, we're one big family.
That's great.
These kids were on a tall ship that was here in the harbor, the big old schooners. And there was an accident in, I think it was Brooklyn Harbor. I think it ran to the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yes, I remember that.
Two youngsters were killed and like 20 were injured. Mm-hmm. That is a high honor duty. You have to be a top cadet to get that kind of job. And those kids were just on a regular tour of duty.
Yeah.
And they got killed.
Yes.
And that's horrific. They're out at sea for 6 months. They come into a port like this. They're here for an afternoon, 2 days, 3 days. And we really, in the past, didn't have anything to offer them. We're putting together a fund so that we have like a adoption fund where you can adopt a service person. So when they come here, as opposed to just giving them some hamburgers and some free beer and a live band and a bar, how about we treat them to a horseback ride or scuba diving or take them to one of the beaches like Camixto or Los Animas or something like that, where, but we didn't have the funds or the mechanism to do that. So that's another thing that I want to see happen. So when these kids come here, we can show them something. We can show them what it's like to live here. And maybe when they get out, maybe they'll come back and, and come and live with us here in Puerto Vallarta.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, you've given me all kinds of inspiration and new ideas, new things to think about, and that is a great way to live, in my opinion. Commander Rey, thank you so very much.
Pablo, thank you so much for having me.
Stay in touch.
I absolutely will.
And we will talk again soon.
I hope so.
And once again, thank you for watching. Thank you for checking out this interview. As I mentioned before, there will be no show notes online today. There will be no broadcast tomorrow. Wah, wah, wah. But I'll be back on Monday morning as usual for more coffee, more headlines, and more stories. Have a good one.